Subscribe to this YouTube channel and please enjoy watching this video. Here we go. Lucas Neill, formerly of Westham United, Millwall and Blackburn Rovers, now endures a life very dissimilar to those who also used to ply their trade as an English top-flight footballer, almost a decade on from hanging up his boots. Now 45, the former Hammers captain pocketed a healthy weekly wage of £40,000 during his time at the club, according to the Times. Back in the day, he could be spotted razzying around England in a Ferrari or enjoying a well-earned break in the Maldives, but has now been reduced to renting his place thanks to being declared bankrupt. Having skippered his native Australia at the World Cup in both 2006 and 2010, post-playing life was one that excited the centre-back and his family, but it left much to be desired. He faced a long-standing financial and legal battle that could have seen him jailed for 3 years over accusations that he had hid £2 million from his creditors after being declared bankrupt in 2016. During his stellar career, he reportedly made a mouth-watering sum of money but believed the rock bottom of his life came in 2016 when he was made to attend a meeting with an insolvency service. People couldn't believe it, but I had nothing left. That was my rock bottom. After 20 years of a football career and all this hard work, I've got nothing to show for it. Inside Neill's bankruptcy. Last week, Neill appeared at Preston Crown Court after being charged with failure to declare money that he never knew he had. The trial came after a 7-year period of bankruptcy, and serious repercussions were on the table had the former star been convicted. Luckily for him, he wasn't. It took the jury a mere 26 minutes to acquit the Australian, and he has now opened up about his torrid financial situation in a revealing interview with the Times. Behind my chair in the dock were stairs going to the cells. I've won my freedom, but I feel like I've lost in life. I feel like I didn't protect my family. And that hurts. I let my family down. The former star had been advised by professionals to invest big in British films on the assumption that he would receive large tax breaks in return. The scheme seemed coherently legitimate and were marketed heavily by accountants and financial advisors, so it seemed as if Neill had hit the jackpot. After being investigated by the taxman, however, investors were forced to repay the money they had previously claimed, which put Neill, and many others, in a sticky financial patch, which he has recalled since. People say they want to advise you. Help you. People just constantly want to take a tiny slice out of you. Telling you they're going to add value to what you're doing. That's just a lesson for all footballers. Do you need these professional financial advisors? I was very successful in the world of football, but I clearly wasn't ready for this other world, the world of business. And I've learnt the hard way. In Neill's case, HMRC ordered him to recover and pay back a grand total of £400,000 after exploring the dodgy scheme. As such, the former West Ham ace had no other choice but to sell over 7 of his properties and, unexpectedly, made a loss on each one. Alongside this, Neill eventually found himself £737,000 in debt to NatWest after being unable to pay off a mouth-watering loan he had secured to pay for a barn in Newcastle, which was held in an offshore fund. For a total of 7 years, Neill and his family were hounded by the insolvency service as they looked to get to the bottom of his situation. All while he was unable to own a house or even buy a contract for a mobile phone. His kids answered the door to bailiffs one morning as they demanded a £400 council tax bill, but alas, he has now been found not guilty of hiding the offshore money. My head was a mess. I could barely say sentences. I had just written out the whole tragedy of my life, and I was going to face my happy, innocent schoolchildren on a school pickup, a new school, because we could no longer afford to pay for school fees for their old school. There were some really humiliating moments. Like at 7:55 a.m. on a school morning, my kids answer the door to bailiffs trying to claim a council tax bill for £400. Since being acquitted, Neill is now coaching women and girls at a football club alongside working for a tech firm, while his lawyer Joseph Coutry-Monson has revealed what lies ahead for the former Australia international. Why would somebody ever put their family through all the pressure of bankruptcy, if they knew they had enough money in a bank account to pay off the debt and still have $1 million left over? What is most concerning about this case is that he passed through the hands of so many financial advisors and other professionals, some with qualifications, some without, all of whom took fees, and few of them showed any interest in assisting him in managing his affairs or informing him what was going on. Now it's time for him to enjoy his restored reputation and get back into the world of sport and broadcasting. Footballers and bankruptcy. It's important to remember that the Socceroos legend is just one of many footballers of yesteryear that have been faced with financial difficulties since calling it a day on their playing careers. Spanning over the past 7 years, more than 100 footballers, both current and former, have faced the heavy wrath of HMRC, whose demands for repayment of huge, disputed tax reliefs can cause a financial burden. According to The Times, one insolvency specialist, who has worked with 5 ex-Premier League stars, has said that players often struggle to adjust to life post-football and often pounce on poor advice as a means of retaining their high financial status. Many of these players are struggling to adjust to life after football. Their salaries at the end of their career do not match up to their lifestyle. They receive poor advice and overstretch with their investments in land and property. A fair number of players have sought help from the Professional Footballers Association over the years, with the most unfortunate facing periods of homelessness, while the Players' Union has warned that between 10 and 20% of professionals face bankruptcy upon retirement. Former Manchester United Wes Brown was also declared bankrupt earlier this year, while ex-Liverpool and Manchester City forward Craig Bellamy gave a tell-all interview about his own personal bankruptcy story in April on the back of failed investments into the property sector. Let us know what you think about the entire thing in the comments section below. Additionally, stay tuned and subscribe to this YouTube channel for the latest news and updates from around the world. We sign out.